Welcome to Paradigms at paradigms.life, the radio show and podcast that brings you inspiring people with visions of a viable future for life on Earth that includes humans. Hi, I'm Baruch, host of Paradigms. Thanks for tuning in. Always happy to be here with you, bringing you interesting, inspiring folks. In this episode, we're going to be meeting someone who works with sound in healing. Now, we've done some shows with healing music, but this is a little different. And in fact, you'll have an opportunity to experience a sound healing session. We're also going to be listening to some healing music from different cultures. So this would be a great episode to just kick back and allow the healing sounds to permeate your being. Ready? All right, here we go. Let's meet my guest on this episode of Paradigms. Oh, and by the way, this interview was recorded on May 1st, so there are a couple of time references that might make you raise your eyebrow, and that's why. Evelie Delfino Solås Posch, welcome to Paradigms.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm very happy that you're here. You do the most amazing, interesting work. You're a sound healing therapist.
Yes.
Tell me what you do and how you came to it. Let's start with, how did you come to this work? How did you come to music?
Yes. I started very early, 10 months old. My mother said I was singing. So my mother, Divina, Divine Mother on Earth, to whom I dedicate my life and my music ministry and my healing ministry, she started it off by having me first. And this happens to be Asian American Pacific Islander month, Mother's Day month, and today is May Day, International Workers' Day, and also Beltane, where we dance around the maypole and invoke fertility and abundance for the year. So I started very early singing on, and actually we all sing in my family. A lot of us are professional singers, and I have aunts and uncles that have sung at the Tonga Room in the Fairmont Hotel for many, many years, opened for Dionne Warwick. I've got an uncle in Hong Kong who has his own jazz band. So music to me came very early, and I took it for granted. I took it for granted until I heard people saying, "Oh, I can't sing. Oh, I'm out of tune." I was told to mouth the words. I was told to lip sync. I was told that I can't sing, I can't carry tune, that I'm tone deaf. And to me that hurt so much to hear this. It was in Reclaiming, actually, where doing a lot of chanting and ritual together, where I heard this and I was astounded. And I realized I took it for granted that our whole family sang, that our whole family was doing music from birth. And so I wanted to heal that part of everybody's heart that says that they can't do it, that they were put down, that they were discarded, that they were told to leave, that they told never come back. I wanted to heal that. And so I got into certification for sound healing, and actually sound and consciousness. So consciousness and sound healing. Just as in Reclaiming or in any ritual, we set an intention. And so I cater to my clients' needs, and we go with the flow. Very much of it is very intuitive what I do. However, I do follow not only sound healing science of an arc and, an uplift and then a gentle landing, but also ritual. So I do I usually start with calling in the air. I call in the air with whistles. I call in the air with bells. I call in the air with a crystal bowl. And then fire, shakers, and slithery creatures, and a lot of rattles, and, very kinetic energy, fire. And then I call in the water with the rain stick, which I forgot today, but the rain stick, the gentle rain. And then go into the earth with the sound of the crickets and the frogs and the drum. So that's the cricket. And so I use instruments from all over the world, and I have the hoop drum, my very firstborn, because I also have conducted play shops where we've made our own medicine hoop drums, and I've made more than 20 throughout 21 years. She will be elky because she's elk skin, and this is the back heart chakra. You could see the line of the back heart chakra here on the back of the elk, and she was born June 23rd, 2002. So she will come of age June, summer solstice 2023. And she's only one of many drums that I have made and helped people make. And she's the best sounding, my firstborn. All the rest, we have them singing. But you can see she just resonates, even though with the humidity today.
Well, and that sound just immediately resonates in my body and starts to transport me.
Exactly. And that's the other thing, is that we take the sound healing to readjust the workings in our body. And so it's an inner massage. We resonate with certain vibrations, and certain vibrations, all of our body, everything is sound. We are sound. And in our body, when our organs are working, they're making sounds. Though we can't hear them, they are making sounds. And so when a sound is directed to a certain organ, for example, and resonates, it helps to realign, readjust, let the energy flow. And that's why it's healing and therapeutic.
I'm talking with Evelie Delfino Solås Posch, who works with sound and consciousness in healing. We'll be back with more of our conversation, learn some more about sound healing. But here's a little sound bath for you, some Tibetan singing bowls from Damien Rose. This is Paradigms at paradigms.life. That's Damien Rose with a recording called Light, Tibetan singing bowls. And now let's return to my conversation with Evelie Delfino Solås Posch, who works with sound and consciousness in healing. Can you talk about the science, the physics behind this? It sounds very woo-woo, and yet I know, and you know, that this is all can be explained in physics. Can you give us a little background on that?
There are many modalities, especially from the Hindu tradition, indigenous traditions from around the world, that use sound, and they have scientific, even though we may not know it, they have a certain way of asserting and maybe even intentionality so that these sound frequencies that we produce, and then some of them are produced in microtones, what we call microtones, or even in harmonics like called throat singing, or Mongolian throat singing, or Tibetan singing, and then the monks that chant, they do the overtone, the undertoning, and even though there is one tone that is produced, there are harmonics above and around, and they spiral around, so that some of those tones will impact a certain resonance that will cause healing. And also, if you also have the intentionality of receiving the sound without any judgment, that also is very helpful. So the frequencies, so for example, the frequencies, the colors of the rainbow have frequencies, right? And you know as well as I, 456 hertz, for example, Hertz, and that usually corresponds to the tone in Western music called C, middle C, and that is usually colored by red. And then red is associated with the root chakra. And I want to say chakra because it's not French. So CH is pronounced ch. So Chandra is moon. If you want the SH sound, then it's S with a dot over or under, or the SH. So they are called chakras. And I'm so happy when I hear folks actually pronounce the words correctly, because I sing in over 30 languages, and for me it's very important to have the correct pronunciation as a way of honoring and respecting that culture, and so not appropriation, but really going deep into the culture and the science of that. So for example, in Hinduism, the syllables A, E, I, O, U, and maybe variations of those a little bit, but they're really A, E, I, O, U, not necessarily diphthongs, although there may be a slight leaning towards some diphthongs, but not as bright as in American English, that they are associated with deities, and they are associated with powerful sound healing, so powerful for people chanting for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and for it to ripple to us, and for us to carry on that legacy of healing, whether we know it or not. There is a term called the golden mean, or the golden spiral, which is a way in which something spirals up and then spirals down. So if you were to create, for example, a rectangle, the spiral itself is usually created at a 2/3 point is probably the zenith, and then from there it kind of winds down. So in my rituals and in my processes with my clients, that's what I aim for. I start off a little slow, a little bit grounded, and then we get excited, and then we get joyful, singing This Little Light of Mine, because I bring this to ALMS, Assisted Living Memory Support. I call it ALMS, ALMS. Memory support, retirement homes, nursing homes, rehab centers. So that's where I bring this music and, to hopefully benefit them as well.
We'll be back with a sound healing session with Evelie Delfino Solås Posch. But first we're going to hear a couple of recorded musical and sound experiences. Evelie was just talking about, without naming it, the Fibonacci sequence. We're going to hear something now, a piano piece by Julie Haney that is a musical representation of the Fibonacci sequence. And then we will experience a chakra cleansing, and then we'll be back to experience a sound healing session with Evelie. Just take it all in. Let it do what it does to you. All right, here's the Fibonacci sequence by Julie Haney. That was a chakra cleansing working with theta waves. And before that, we heard Julie Haney with her interpretation of the Fibonacci sequence on piano. And now, let's get back to my conversation with Evelie Delfino Solås Posch, and she is going to take us through a sound and consciousness healing session. We know that what we call matter is the wonderful paradox of particle and wave in motion.
Yes.
I mean, this is what we know from Western physics. Well, we're exchanging sounds right now, and we have interpretations of what these words mean, but we're also communicating with our voice, with our tone, who we are and what we're experiencing and what we're communicating beyond the words. The instruments do it. It's all happening with all music. I would love for you to show me, demonstrate with some of your wonderful tools, some of the intentional sounds and what they're for, just to send it out to people.
Thank you for asking that. For example, in Tibetan Buddhism, there is a very, very simple chant. Starts with Om, opens up to Ah, and then Hum, Hoom. I'm just spelling it phonetically, or Hoong. And so it has many benefits by opening the nasal passages and then vibrating the facial muscles and what we call the facial mask to resonate the sound within our brain area, and then of course our throat area, and then it just gently washes down to the heart area, and then of course from the heart area down to all the other chakras and all the other parts of our body. And we can even extend that and color it. So sometimes I ask someone to envision when we're humming what colors are showing up, and making sure that when we're also chanting that we're inhaling, when we inhale before we chant, that we're inhaling a beautiful healing light, and then you can color it any way which you want. Sometimes if we are directing it to the crown chakra, for example, what color comes to mind when you're humming to the crown chakra, for example? But we'll start with the Om, Ah, Hum. And so take a gentle breath. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Om I'm a child of the universe, being born. Each moment I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born. Each moment I will be gentle with myself, I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. Without you and I, in delight we are united. You and I, sugar, choose the Paris heaven in the place where we are sitting laughing sweetly. You and I, the other in that land, sweet paradise. You and I, That was a poem by Rumi, Jalaluddin Rumi, 13th century poet, that I set to music, and the translation is by Anna Marie Schimmel, a woman. I prefer her translations of Rumi's poems.
Isn't it wonderful just to bathe in all those sounds and let them soak in and do what they do to your body and your mind and your spirit? We're going to continue in this vein by hearing something now from Parangi. It's called ayahuasca. So just let these sounds keep working on you, with you, through you, in you. Here we go. You're listening to Paradigms at paradigms.life. That's Parangi, who's been on this show, with ayahuasca. And those sounds just feel what they do as you let them soak into you. Okay, here is the final part of my conversation with Evelie Delfino Solås Posch. I interview a lot of musicians, and I like to talk to them about how sound literally goes into your brain and changes you immediately, all the time.
Yeah, all the time. So no moment can be replicated. Every moment is new. And that is a Buddhist philosophy. So speaking of tabula rasa, right? Wiping the slate clean, non-judgment. It's hard. We are the most judgmental beings on earth. And it's difficult, but we practice, and that's what practice makes easier. And practice makes better, according to one of my students. Not perfect. We're not seeking perfection, because perfection also creates suffering. Mm-hmm. We don't want perfection. We want what is in the moment. We want vulnerability. We want to be able to access our emotions and then be able to clear the emotions that are harmful and take in the emotions that are beneficial. So even, for example, why people love sad songs, why people love the blues, because it opens the beauty center in the brain. It opens the beauty center in the brain. That's why we love sad songs so much. That's why those minor chords like tug at our heart, you know. Mm. So, and that's why we also like to sing about it. But then when we sing about it, then it, you know, nothing lasts forever. So that moves on, and then we become joyful and happy. And so what we're seeking in life is to seek the balance in our life, that we can have happiness, lasting happiness, but not cling to the happiness, because suffering will come. But then how do we move forward so that the suffering does not take over and we don't become depressed, and so that we can also be of benefit to other people, showing that we can move mountains, we are able to rise up when we fall, that we are able to keep on keeping on. And that's why that's what resilience means, to bounce back. Woo! Woo! And laughter is also a good medicine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Joyfulness is a good medicine. And going out and creating our relationships. So as a person of color, also one of my missions and visions is to center and uplift people of color voices, women, especially women of color, to center those and uplift them. So if people see me everywhere, it's because I am everywhere. It's true. I've seen you there, and I've seen you here, and I've seen you everywhere. And it's true. I heard from one of my teachers is that show up everywhere, show up in all cultures, show up in all situations. You don't have to speak. You don't have to ask questions. You can observe and wait. You can sit in the back of the room. Just be present. See what's going on. And then maybe somebody will come up to you and say, I've seen you here a lot. Who are you? What's your name? And be curious about you so that you can also share your own experiences. It's all about how are we able to help other beings become aware and mindful, compassionate, understanding, be harmonious. How can we have harmonious relationships? And it's challenging, and still practice makes better.
Evelie, thank you so much. Really wonderful.
You're welcome, Baruch. I'm so happy that we got to talk with each other today and to share our hearts and our spirit and sound.
It was wonderful to talk with Evelie about her work and to experience some of it, all the instruments, the different sounds, but the intention that she puts into this work, the intention that we can all put into healing ourselves, which also always means healing for those around us and the world. Sound, not just music, but music and other sounds, of course, have a profound effect on us. So, of course, they would be part of our healing. Evelie doesn't have a web page. She's not really all that easy to find, but there is a link on the Paradigms website to her LinkedIn page if you'd like to contact her and learn more about her work. So thank you, Evelie, for taking time to share your work with me and the world. And if you enjoyed this experience with Evelie, check out the Paradigms website, paradigms.life, where there are 14 years worth of wonderful, inspiring people sharing their inspirations through their music and their art and their life choices. As always, you can find Paradigms wherever you find your podcasts. And if you'd like Paradigms to be broadcast in your area, find your local community radio station and let them know. So Evelie shared all this wonderful sound healing with us. We're going to close the show out with an actual song that is also a form of sound healing from the band Medicine Dream. This one's called For the Love of Elders, and that will be followed by Crystal Bowl, played by Ajna Light. And it just seemed like the right way to end the show. I hope you enjoy it. And let's let the word for the week be healing, and notice what in our lives is healing and how we allow it, encourage it, and maybe even how we stop it. And allow yourself to especially notice the way sound affects you. Making sounds, hearing sounds, the sounds we choose to listen to, the sounds that the world kind of throws at us. I find that the more I have tuned into this whole sound healing thing, the more I'm aware of how I feel when I hear certain sounds. The sound of a siren affects me very differently than the sound of the ocean. Notice and choose as much as you can what sounds you listen to. All right, Baruch signing off for this episode of Paradigms. We'll see you next time with more inspiring people. Until then, let's notice healing and sounds. And be well.
Watch the sunshine in your soul. I can't imagine someone thinking that you were only old. I know the lines across your face. They tell the stories of our people and of the love for this place. Way go, hey, oh, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, ya, hey, yo. Way go, hey, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, ya, hey, yo. Hey, oh, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, ya, hey, yo. Hey, oh, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, hey, ya, hey, ya, oh, hey, hey, ya, hey, yo. Hey, oh, you've endured the test of time. The residential schools discard you, but you never died. And in your heart you sing this song. You tell the youth today, never give up, always be strong.
You've been listening to Paradigms at paradigms.life.